we got a really cool board downstairs. If you want to come down, I think you'd be interested in it. Maybe a little sign.
Let's go do it.
All right,
go check it out. So I'm holding here. Yes, did the Great Legends series of boards, and DCP got a hold of me and said we're doing a Craig Kelly version of the Greats. Do you have any photographs? I was like, well, I could help out. So this is a photograph taken at my house. I lived on a 10-acre parcel with a big bungalow. We used to call up my neighbor. His name is Jimmy, and he was the local helicopter pilot. And we go, hey Jimmy, come on over, so we could hear him down the street firing up. And he would fly from his house, land in my yard, and with a topo map, and Craig and me, sometimes Jason Ford, and maybe a guide or two, or maybe sometimes a guide, we would jump in the heli and just follow our topo map and go find things. And this is how we actually kind of ran into the hole in the wall. And I think the hole in the wall might have been this day. But we're waiting for the helicopter, and this is an icicle hanging off the roof of my house. And while we're outside waiting for the helicopter, it says, hey, Craig, just walk over here. I want you to just get beside this icicle, great big icicle hanging there. So that's where that photograph came from. Front door of my house. Should I sign it?
Please.
Yeah, of course.
Please do.
Like Ford and Craig would come to my house and they'll be like, guys, come over here, we'll just hang out and we'll just call up Jimmy and we'll fly around the Kootenays, right? So it'll just be us and we're like literally walking out of the door with a coffee cup. You know, like walking out into the field
Well,
to
and
like,
I remember the photo, but that's such a cool connection to have to it now.
yeah.
It looks really
that's
good on the
awesome.
board like that.
Actually, I think it was the New York Times or someone used that photo in their obituary for Craig
Yeah.
when he died. Yeah.
No, I was pretty stoked when these guys did this series. That's
Yeah.
awesome, because they had Terrier on there as well, and those two were pretty damn tight.
I thought it was super cool that boards like Yes and of course Capita did these series, you know, kind of took care of the greats, and we did that photo series with Capita. Awesome.
Well, I always tell Tim Zimmerman, I mean, you guys are as much a pro snowboarders as the pro snowboarders. It's
Yeah.
just a different little faction of it, but you ride just as much and you're in the same terrain all the time.
Did I ever tell you
so-
the story the very first time I snowboarded? Up and comer photographer, I was getting some stuff done in Powder magazine,
Yeah.
you know, that sort of thing. And then the snowboard industry was kind of seeing my name around, right? And I was the very first senior photographer for Transworld Snowboarding magazine. So I was kind of hooking into, you know, Kevin Kinnear brought me under his wing, and now I'm shooting for Transworld, and the phone starts ringing. And they're like, it's Burton. You know, back then we actually had landlines. And they're like, hey, Mark, we've seen your stuff. We really want you to come into our annual, you know, team shoot in Europe. And they always shot in Europe, you know, ski in, ski out type ski resorts.
Yeah.
Because in November, because they really needed the new product shot for the trade show in January, which at the time was January for the biggest trade show. So they fly me to Val Thorens, France. I think it was in 1992. And my first night there, I'm having dinner with Jake, and I'm sitting beside him, and he's a rad dude, right? Just hanging out. And he's really hit it off. Let's get up in the morning and go ride together, man. It'd be super fun. I was like, oh, that's just so cool. Now, I just got here, and Jake's like welcoming me in. We're gonna go ride together. So next morning, I'm standing at the front door of this ski in, ski out spa hotel thing, like a total goofball with my 30-pound camera bag and my skis, you know. And Jake walked out the door and he looks me up and down and he goes, nope, that won't do.
I probably for 10 years thought Gallup was always on a snowboard. I had no idea.
Well, this is 92.
But we just associated you with that
Yeah.
at all times, right? Because your name was in every one of my favorite shots as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, he's just another snowboarder.
No, yeah, well, I was.
shocked.
From then on.
I was shocked as well, I have to say, the first time.
I didn't even know you skied.
So at the beginning of, like, at that moment, Jake went back inside, grabbed a board, boots, and bindings,
Awesome.
and he was like, product knowledge, one-on-one, 20 minutes of him explaining his equipment, explaining his bindings, explaining his boots as I put them on, and like a goofball, you know, I'm all ready, got me ready, you know, just this whole PK of like, from Jake, you know.
That's all.
And I went to put in my back foot first, you know. He's like, no, you put your front foot in. That's what you do first. And I was, oh, cool, okay, thanks. So the very first time I was on a snowboard was
Was
with
with
a
Jake Burton.
with Jake Burton with a 30-pound backpack on, one footing it down a groomer to get on a T-bar.
Yeah.
So
There
it's
you
like
go.
I got on that
There you
T-bar,
go.
and I have a skateboard background, so I was like, there's no fucking way that I am falling, and I got on that, and I never touched a pair of skis for 15 years, like
Man.
20 years. Actually, 20 years after that, I never
Yeah.
skied again.